I'm sorry, this is the part that I didn't address. John 3:9. This is very important. This was the culmination. So I'll make this as short as I can. This is the culmination of the part 1 and 2. So this is 3. 1 John 3:9. No one who is born of God practices sin, because his seed abides in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of God. Now, these things, little children, make sure no one deceives you. The one who practices righteousness is righteous, just as he is righteous. The one who practices sin, in this part, sin is the lawlessness, the works of the devil. But that's in verse 7, going down 9. No one who is born of God practices sin, because his seed abides in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of God. And we're told when we do sin, we have an advocate in heaven, right? Now, this jives perfectly with what Paul said when he said, neither drunkards, nor covetousness, nor adulterers, nor effeminates, nor homosexuals will ever enter the kingdom of heaven. But that is what you were, having been washed clean. Doesn't mean they still won't go out and get drunk, or sometimes cheat on their wives. Technically, they're still adulterers, right? Now, as of God, you cannot commit sin. Paul says, the more I sin, the more grace abounds. So should I continue sinning? By no means. But no, we're in the eyes of God, we actually do not sin, unless we commit apostasy. Right? And the one who practices sin is of the devil, for the devil has sinned from the beginning. The Son of God appeared for this purpose, to destroy the works of the devil. He was born of God. How are you born again? With water and spirit, baptism. Again, that's how God set up the function through how the entirety of the earth shall be saved, through every nation. Go ye baptizing in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, right? And how are we actually confirmed in forgiveness? Through his blood that actually washes us clean. We don't need to be rebaptized, but we need to take the Eucharist more than once. And we need to take it with those who are in communion with those who are at Pentecost, not just factions. Again, the idea of baptism being an outward sign of an inward change, or the receptionist theory of the Eucharist, cannot be found in the New Testament. Only to the contrary. Receptionist view is shot down by every part of the New Testament, and the outward sign of an inward change not only cannot be found in the New Testament, but is diametrically opposed, completely contradictory to what is taught about baptism in the New Testament. But these commands and these things leading to life and testifying of the Spirit, for there are three that testify: the Spirit, the water, and the blood, and these three are in agreement. Baptism in the Eucharist, right? For we receive the testimony of men, the testimony of God is greater. Testimony of God here is testified concerning his Son. To me, it's clear as day. Whatever we ask, we will receive from him, because we keep his commandments and do the things that are pleasing to him in his sight. His commandments, his commandments, his commandments. And those traditions that are constantly told that we're to follow. Baptism and the Eucharist, right? And we were given confession as a mercy. Peace to you. May God save Serbia, Syria, and Ireland. I guess that wraps it up on 1 John. Again, somebody spouting heresy or speaking blasphemy is different than somebody who, their old man still loves their sin. Run the race is to win it. You know, make sure they're still attending a parish that's actually part of the one and only true church that's descended from Pentecost, that never changed, and is confessing his sins, even if the sins that he loves, and receives the body and blood, and partakes in the actual worship of God that was taught to us by the apostles, how it's the responsive. I mean, we still have the same tones, you know, they're the same tones that were sung in the temple, or similar, between chanting and singing. Again, nothing like the Westerners, like you Roman Catholics or Presbyterians or Baptists, all of you who are all Roman Catholics anyways, because you take things from Anselm and Augustine. But no, I would implore people, apostasy, heresy, and blasphemy versus sin. Of course we sin. In God's eyes, do we sin? No, because he sees us covered in the blood of Christ. And we're just as sinless as Christ. Peace to you.